Evening and welcome back, and thanks for being here and being a part of the program. Perhaps the most active news tonight comes out of the weather forecast, and in that department we'll talk about showers and storms, the likes of which we have seen, the likes of which are in the forecast for each and every day of the forecast through this time next week. No changes in that respect. However, there are some significant changes and more of an increase, we think, of some precipitation, and some significant precipitation, mind you, from Tropical Storm Bill, the leftovers of which, and of course another system that is already starting to work its way into our current conditions and forecast. All of this is going to combine possibly and more than likely to give us some significant rainfall for the latter part of this week and the first half of your weekend. That's just one of the updates I have for you. The other is that by this time next week, I think even though heat indices have been into the 90s with the upper 80s, mid to upper 80s, and the relative humidity being so increased, but I've got actual temperatures tomorrow which indeed will be into the low and mid 90s all by themselves. With that, we may see some drying conditions finally work their way into the forecast, but it's one that we'll want to keep an eye on, as well as local and current conditions that I'll have forthcoming in just a few moments. Also, I'll pick up where I left off in just a few moments with coverage of the Sayersville City Council meeting before going on to other news and information tonight. But first, looking around the area, after issuing the charges against him last month, now the Judicial Conduct Commission has temporarily suspended, pending a final hearing in a few weeks, with pay, mind you, Stephen D. Combs, Judge Stephen Combs in Pike County, pending 10 charges of misconduct which have been leveled against him. We know that this is a rare situation and only the second time that a temporary suspension has been logged since 1996 by the Judicial Conduct Commission, and going back to 1984, it's my understanding they have only taken 4 judges from their office. Now, it goes back to charges which were initially filed and originally filed last month, in which Combs is accused of 10 counts of misconduct, including what was described as inappropriate political activity, presiding over at least 2 cases in which that led to misconduct in his office. He was also said to have presided over at least 1 lawsuit against a company in which he had financial ties to. Also, he is said to have made inappropriate statements on the website topics using several different usernames, including what was listed in documents as Better Call Wusty, I'm a Telling You, and City Hall Patrol, and LOL. The list goes on saying that he used some very derogatory names to refer to a whole lot of individuals in Pikeville, people including those who represent the Pikeville Police Department, elected officials, employees of the City of Pikeville, the Pike County TV channel manager as well. He has also gone on record as denying not all, but the majority of the allegations, and says that he disagreed with the characterization of his comments to police, in which he is alleged to have said that the next officer that pulled him over would receive, quote, a bullet in the head. Now, the final hearing is set for in just a few weeks, I believe, on the matter, if I'm not mistaken, the 21st of next month. Once again, suspended with pay pending the outcome of those charges. I did not know, to be completely honest, I didn't know there was a first and a second annual. I do know that there is a third annual event set for this weekend at the Dewey Lake, and it's for those who are of the fittest, because this Saturday the Eastern Kentucky Racers Association is sponsoring a triathlon. That's right, a triathlon over at Dewey Lake. There's a swim that's a ½ mile in length, there's a bike ride that's 28 miles, and a run that is just over 6 miles, 6.2 if I'm not mistaken. It all starts at the Terry Boat Dock at Jenny Wiley State Park, 8 o'clock this Saturday morning. Now, if you want to be a participant, you need to be there early. If you want to be a spectator as well for any or all of the events, you must be there early as well, because the course will be closed to traffic after it starts. And anyone who's wishing to fish on the lake and not be a part of the triathlon needs to launch their boat and get it on the water before time to start the actual event, which is going to be at 8 a.m. Triathletes can sign up and find out more information. You can go to Facebook and find out, of course, like you can about anything else in this world, at facebook.com/Dewey Lake Triathlon. I've also got a number for you that was posted in the Floyd County Times, 226-9353. Also of interest to you, all the proceeds will go to benefit a new Floyd County animal shelter. Floyd, one of a couple neighboring counties which are in the midst of trying to establish their own animal shelter, as Johnson County is just about to see theirs up and running. It's not clear as of yet as to whether or not the customers or consumers are going to reap any of the benefits, if you will. But the Federal Communications Commission today did bust AT&T after offering consumers unlimited data plans and then cutting back their speeds once they reached certain limits. Meager limits, mind you, at that. In all, the FCC hit AT&T with a huge $100 million fine for misleading its customers. And the FCC chairman, Tom Wheeler, said on record that consumers deserve to get what they pay for and that broadband providers must be upfront and transparent about the services that they provide, and the FCC will not stand by idly while consumers are deceived by misleading marketing materials and insufficient disclosure. AT&T says that they're going to fight this decision as vigorously as possible. Just last month, the major wireless telephone carrier said that they changed their policy of cutting back customers with unlimited data plans once they hit certain monthly consumption thresholds. Now AT&T is saying that customers on a 3G or 4G smartphone or on an 4G LTE smartphone with an unlimited data plan who have gone over 3 gigabytes or 5 gigabytes on the LTE plan, mind you, of data in a billing period may experience reduced speeds when using data services at times and in areas that are experiencing network congestion. However, earlier AT&T was claiming the right to cut back their unlimited data plans once users exceeded certain limits for the duration of their billing cycles. I know a few folks who had AT&T and no longer do since who were experiencing the same problems, and that was some of the reasons I think they're no longer with that carrier. Once they reached 3 gigabytes, they were on the LTE service. Once they reached that 3 gigabytes, their speed was cut drastically down, and it was just simply not something that they wished to carry on any longer. It's not known yet whether or not those consumers may see a portion of that $100 million fine. I would expect as though they would. I hope to have you back here after these messages for more of your news today. Stay tuned. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. I'll pick up where I left off with coverage of Monday night's Sagersville City Council meeting. Items left to cover from the session include discussion after opening of bids. Bids open for 3 projects in the city of Sagersville, including a handrail around City Hall, but also some more concrete curbs to finish those which have already been put in place in the Ramey Park, as well as a large structure to pieces of equipment at the lower end of town. Bids were unsealed for 3 various projects, one for 585 feet of concrete curb, similar to that they have been constructing in the park now for several months, going back to the first or the end of last year, I should say. 585 feet to complete the job. The lowest bid coming in at $10 per linear foot, which equaled $5,850 by K&P Construction. Bids range from that $5,850 all the way up to $15,700 for that particular project. They voted to take that lowest bid by K&P Construction. They voted to take the lowest and only bid for establishing handrail around City Hall, a $4,500 bid from Johnson Construction, and some in-depth consideration about a bid submitted by K&P Construction to build a 30 by 40 by 12 shed at the lower end of town to house a large equipment. A low bid of $12,000, bids ranging from that $12,000 to more than $34,000. After a thorough examination of the bid, they voted to take that low bid of $12,000. Next came the mayor's report, preluded by a discussion about scheduled mosquito spraying throughout the summer months.
It's got to be built to specs.
He hit the specs in that.
It can't be shortcutted a little bit.
I understand.
We had the specs down there. And I think every one of them.
Okay. Mayor's report. We sprayed for mosquitoes on last Tuesday night, I think it was. They come from the state with sprayed. And I'm going to have them try to get them back in right before the 4th of July to spray, and right before Community Day, and right before Heritage Days to spray. And they spray for us free. City pickups this week on the trash pickup. Telling everybody, if you got a big load or something, you need to come. It's going to be a big bunch. Just call and tell us where you're at, and we'll come out and get it.
Tires or not?
Huh?
Tires
Are they still taking tars?
Yeah, this week.
Still taking, as long as they got money, they're taking tars. So bring all your tars down and get rid of them.
When is that?
This week, all this week. We're not going by section, we just go through the whole town every day, and if you got it out, we pick it up, and if you've got something that you want us to help with, just call us.
Well, they put our in.
4th of July, the Renaissance is doing that. They're meeting tonight. They've done we're going to have the watermelon social. The pageants are going to be during that week. We're going to have the parade. Paul, you got volunteered for the booths on that, by the way.
See you, Bucket.
The big, they're going to want us to have a street dance for the 4th of July this year, and it went over pretty good, I think, last year for Heritage Day, so I think we'll try to have the street dance too. And the big thing is fireworks. The guy's been calling me. I've contacted the county 2 or 3 times, and I still haven't got an answer if they're going to pay anything. The Renaissance said they would try to raise some money. It would be $8,000. If nobody raises anything, it'd be $8,000.
The city had taken donations, I think, a couple of years prior to last and received very little, and the county was still not weighing in as to whether or not they were going to fund half as they had for the past several years. After further discussion, the Sagersville City Council decided to go ahead in hopes of still receiving half from the county, but regardless, go ahead and pay the final bill should they need to do so to see that the fireworks are paid for. They will be going off, however, at a different time as they normally do throughout the 4th of July celebration. As for the 4th of July, it's still being planned and finalized. I can tell you that the fireworks and the watermelon social will be on Friday night this time around. Fireworks displays generally on the actual 4th of July day themselves, well, are hard to come by. That date is usually reserved years in advance, and it doesn't happen very often that the 4th actually falls on a Saturday, which is traditionally when Sagersville holds its annual display. So the city will be holding their fireworks display on Friday the 3rd, same evening as the watermelon social. I know they're also working on some live music and entertainment and some other things that I'll be able to tell you about as plans are finalized soon. With that said, here's tonight's community calendar brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau that also has one 4th of July related announcement. First, repeating what Mayor Pete Shepard said, the citywide cleanup is all week this week, so you've got a couple more days there, and the countywide cleanup wraps up in District 1 this week. Call the Judge's Office at 2313, 349-2313 if you have any large items you need a little help with, and call City Hall for the same at 349-2409, and they are taking tires and flood debris as well. That is the Sagersville City cleanup and the countywide cleanup in District 1, mind you, wrapping up this Friday. Going on to other announcements, Revival, and I've got my time. I had it the whole time, just didn't have it in there. The Revival starts at the regular Primitive Baptist Church this Friday evening at 7, and Pastor Herman Russell welcomes you all. So Revival starting at 7 this Friday, nightly thereafter at the regular Primitive Baptist Church. They hope that you'll join them, and this is going to be Delbert Porter and Andrew Oliver at Revival at the regular Primitive Baptist Church. Once again, Friday, 7 o'clock. The firecracker pageants, as you heard mentioned a moment ago, will be held this year as they have for the past many, and sign-ups are tomorrow. They were today, and there's another session tomorrow at 6 o'clock at the Sagersville Renaissance Building. If you have any questions about the age groups or anything else, call 496-7304 or 367-3992. That's Jency Bailey and Tanika McFarland. They can, of course, fill you in as they are the pageant organizers. So sign-ups tomorrow, 6 o'clock at Sagersville Renaissance. And quickly checking, that's about it for reminders. A reminder, the McGoffin County Relay for Life is this Friday night at 6 at the North McGoffin Elementary School. Hope to see you there for that. And you can send birthdays, anniversaries, and announcements like these to Your News Today, P.O. Box 1443 in Sagersville. Phone them in at 349-3699. Fax them to 349-3221. Email them to yournewstoday@yahoo.com. Facebook them to me, Ritter Mortimer, on Facebook. And you can always catch programming on yournewstoday.com. I'll be right back. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
Hey guys, Jason Weffenstedt, sales manager at the all-new Hutch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paintsville, Kentucky. Where, as you can tell behind me, we're just weeks away from opening our brand new dealership, and we want to invite everybody down to take a test drive and be entered to win a free vacation package from Hutch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paintsville, Kentucky.
They're only weeks away from their grand opening, but they're open for business today. So come in and get entered for a vacation package to be given away at the brand new Hutch Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Paintsville. 297-5066. Going to wrap it up a little short this evening. The heat's kind of got everybody down today, and a few stories did not quite pan out. Now, this was local Doppler radar right around the 6 o'clock hour, and you can see we, as we have for the most part, been on the lighter side of things. I did pick up 1/16 of an inch of rain here at the studio today. That puts us at 1 3/4 of an inch for the month of June this far. Not too bad. I think we're going to more than double that in a few days to come. In the near term, keep your eye on the weather throughout the evening. And we are seeing showers and storms, and I think tonight a 40% chance is a good place to put the bet on exactly the likelihood of more to come. They are more light in nature, as you can see by the smaller dots on your screen. And man, if you just go just a little bit to the north of the viewing area, it's been a much, much different story. We've been getting in on a few, but fewer and farther between, and some of our folks to the northerly direction. So while I don't expect to add to the rain totals a great deal tonight, we will pick them up, I believe, a little later on. 69 degrees is where we'll fall tonight. I hit 91 here at the studio. I'm still at 89 degrees if you're catching the early show. Hot and humid, to say the very, very least. And I'd forgotten to check the humidity or the heat index. Yeah, heat index is well over 100 degrees here at the newsroom. So not surprising, to say the least. For your tomorrow, we'll see a little sun. We'll see the upper 80s. We'll see heat and humidity, and we'll still see a threat of showers and storms looming above. The leftovers of Bill, not so much a factor tomorrow, with a low of 68 tomorrow night. By the time Friday gets here, I think that's going to start to change. We still have showers and storms, mostly cloudy skies and mid-80s in your forecast for Friday. Friday night and into your Saturday, that's when we'll start to notice more about Bill and what's left over from Bill. And we've heard Bill more than we care to, but it's going to be a factor in our precipitation count. And we're talking about the possibility of a few inches of rainfall, and could be heavy at times. Tomorrow, we'll have a much better grasp, I think, on what rainfall estimates should be. So we'll be sure and tune in for that. And, of course, other news you'll only see with me. For the weekend, as you see, mostly cloudy, 80s on Saturday. Showers and storms are likely. By the latter half of your weekend, we're still going to see temperatures in the upper 80s. I think 88 on Sunday. Still a threat of showers and storms. Still some sun. An increased threat of some showers and storms for Sunday as compared to yesterday. By the time we get to Wednesday of next week, we'll go from the upper 80s, 87, 88, to about 93, 94 for actual temperatures. We might see some drying trends with them, but those 90s and above, mid-90s possibly, might be here for a few days thereafter, all starting midweek next week. For now, that is my time. A bit short. We'll try to make it up on tomorrow night's program. Enjoy your evening. We'll see you then. Good night.